InShalla and Ashe talk about a few times of failure to launch, if you will. Holistic Sha'medium and subtle energy surgeon here, Tonya D. It's September 30th, and welcome to the Daily Snippet, my little channel that I go live every day. And the galactic frontier is actually calling us to hold the faith to ourselves, to be compassionate to ourselves, and be merciful, right? So I had some really otherworldly and curious dream visions last night. Did anybody else? So I was in ceremony, and honestly, I was a little bit pissed off about the narrative that's been kind of echoing in my dream space. So sometimes I just go to the source, the higher powers that be, if you will, spiritual allies or warriors. Some would probably say that I was spell casting in a way, which I kind of felt like I was. And also, I was in a ritual as well. So lots of cosmic stuff is actually happening. And I won't go into the ritual aspect, the nitty gritty details, but just paying attention to different themes in our lives, even reoccurring dreams, they give insight to the theme, the narrative, that oftentimes there's a message there that we need to kind of identify or get the memo on. So with the moon in Cancer, our feelings are really going to be online. So it's like our magnifier to really validate our emotional threads, our emotions and what we're feeling. And also it's like the key to access the struggle within us. Sometimes it feels like that Achilles heel in the cosmic field, ready to shift and see like a mountaintop view. I know I am. But the elemental energy of today, we have this Yin Metal Snake. It's a Xin Si. So we have the spirit energy of all of the spirits, fire, with the corporal soul, metal, the earthly spirit in bodily form, or the physical. So it's like heaven to earth, spirit to matter, or even vice versa, really. So metal really is a narrative. I'm kind of ready for a new month energy. I looked into it and I'm kind of really not ready for it as all. I mean, there's just so much moving through this threading in this week, really. But we have a metal trinity. We have with the snake, the rooster, and the ox right at the branches down there. So we have a lot of metal energy. They actually create even more metal, those three. So the decision makers, the leadership skills, even metal related businesses, jewelries and golds and like refinement of things. But our lungs and the heart and the small intestine are also the pathways online. So I might say that the heart is going to be or feel maybe restricted in a way. This year, the year energy can actually feed the day and the month, flowing from the year to the day. But the fire is the controller of the metal, and we don't have any wood or nature, except if I was to look at the hour, which is really kind of a shifter, and we only have a little water hidden in the branch, actually, of the year. So water is performance for metal. So our day needs some water. It has zero wealth or wood energy to create wealth, to do something that's like nature related. Herbs, essential oils, healing with herbs, anything like nature herbal based in a way. So just crafting with woods or creating totems even. So we have the yang energy on the day branch, but everything else is actually really yin. Our inner constitution, possibly we have some yang energy that comes through the element of the snake today. But the snake, it's like in Jungle Book, the snake kind of puts us in a trance. It might feel even a bit shamanic in the trance, and like you're having dream visions during the day or day visions. So we really have this capability today to communicate with spirit through the means of our soul, if you will. So it's about opening up that channel to spirit, the prime directive or that directive, and just allowing us the ability to really psychically sense and go deeper into those realms of our subconscious, whether it's in the reality or in the other reality. So it's like the door to the realm of spirit is open. It's our own spiritual acumen, that side of us. And it's going to be easier to float on into the other side. And if you are curious about diving deeper into the other world, Secrets of the Other World is really a fun little program that I actually have to offer in my club, in my corridor, my healing venue. But Our beacon of our inner guiding star is actually just really naturally open today. It's naturally delicious, I would say. So if you feel called to go to your own personal God channel, your source channel, apparently I did, just know that whatever dream you might have had last night, it was probably more significant to you than usual. You might have had some actualizations, been pretty curious or interesting. I mean, I know mine was. So any emotional threading that comes up to the surface for you to access your subconscious feelings, those are like clues in the story, the personal story, whether it's past lives, lifetimes, past anything really in the past. Somewhere you've already been and explored before. Maybe you have a spiritual mission and God universe is showing you the movie, those threadings. So today is a magical day to merge both the physical soul with the spiritual realm. It's like having a mountain top view, the broader story, the picture. You might even went back in time, a place where a major energetic hiccup occurred or is occurring in another timeline or a dimension. So of all the things to be today, find your peace navigator, be calm and be compassionate to yourself. Anything that feels kind of weighted today or maybe self-inflicting, it really is a magical day for self-forgiveness, forgiving of all the things. Anything that you feel could have been a mistake, any emotional feelings, the shame, the blame, the disgust, whatever it is, or, whatever comes up in your threading, just be merciful to you today with that connection, literally like syncing, like locking together. With the channel of source, it's open to taking in like a reception center. You're no longer waiting. It's highly authentic, possibly spiritually motivated day just to really release all the things to the greater universe for healing everything. So it's really like getting an energetic bath with spiritual waters. So go into those waters, if you will, and just allow the universe to recalibrate and clear your vibrational field, like when you get that aha moment when the water is clear, it's not muddy anymore, it's like pure essence. So kind of meditate on those waters, those spiritual truths. They're more about understanding the lesson, like where we get the memo. We don't need to go down the rabbit hole with them. And we usually don't sync with our intuition. We skip literally the threading, if you will. So to get to the bottom of our soul within our heart, this fire energy, all this spiritual energy, anything that makes you feel less than zero, sadness, grief, which I'm offering a grief ritual in the next weekend, I believe. But just listen to your heart, your corridor of your heart. It's like our logistical mind might be kind of skipping stones over what our spidey senses already know. So we're skipping over those ripples. That inner knowingness, the things that we put under the rug just when we know something. So it's like, how do you value yourself? How is your self-esteem? Hopefully we're shifting some gears in our system of what we value. I mean, I know I am. So anything that's old school, past life conundrums, it really is a great day to magically release anything that's no longer in vibration with your soul. So the spiritual realm is highly activated right now. So just open up for the message to kind of realign you to the life you're meant to live, the prime directive. You might even see literally around the corner by the end of the day, a new thread is beginning. So you might just see what thread is ending and also what thread is beginning. So with our spiritual center online, the colors of violet, lavender, essential oils, or even herbs, add a little lavender incense to your day. Maybe start a little fire and put some offerings in there. Just elevating the channel to the realms of spirit and just opening that door, that corridor. It'll kind of feel like Neo in the Matrix when he's with the key master and they're trying to find the key and open the door. So if the cosmic soup kind of feels a little stirred a little bit, maybe a little clunky even, maybe this corridor is calling you in to create like a specific line, a boundary, something to level up, like the new earth is kind of bursting through a little bit, which I'm really kind of curious about that October 8th. It's been in my frequency. I'm not sure why. I kind of do know why, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. So when our waters actually become clear, We actually know the path to take, what line to create, and just be honorable to our own self first, or do what is in integrity with our soul within us. Don't let anything outside of your story shift your integrity. Stay in that frequency. You know, the castle will usually fall apart when we put our heart on the back burner. We don't tune into that frequency. We also have the seed sound of Ong to connect to that spiritual channel. I would actually do the sound of Ha, the heat of fire, the fire element, and the sound of metal to connect with our soul and our spirit. Fine tuning while cleansing our spiritual energy, kind of getting a tune up like a car, if you will, and just releasing any grief or any frequencies that are lower vibration. So it's for metal, it's the like in Sammy the snake. So the animal of the day, this is kind of fun. I'm actually going to go with the dove, the white dove. I love Prince. Totally sad when that there happened. But talk about a magical spiritual being, right? Connected totally to the divine source, Prince. But the dove itself, it symbolizes like this fluttering in our day-to-day life, where we might be reminded that we actually can soar and that we actually know when to move our wings or when to allow the wind to just take us to newer heights. So this spirit animal will teach us where to sit on a branch looking at the sky and hoping the wind will actually pick us up, the wind beneath our wings. So you would never move. But in other words, the dove is also a message that we also need to surrender and allow the wind to support our wings so we can get moving and we can experience, this exhilaration of flying higher and actually higher. But also it could be letting us know that we need to stop and take a deep breath, right? Take a breath and a pause. I talk about that all the time, but you must also let go of all of the turmoil that's currently surrounding you and taking the time to find peace within yourself. So what you see right now is your reality shifting in ways that you never thought possible, and that what you are indeed looking for is just around actually that corner. So the dove actually shows that most of the chaos happens right before our dreams also come true. So it's also a message that we need to purify our thoughts. Maybe you're attracting what you don't want into your life by focusing on that narrative, that story. So it can also be kind of heralding the end of a problematic cycle in our life. I kind of feel that myself, just announcing a time of new worlds opening up to us, new dimensions. And there are possibilities, of even new romance, new friendships, new beginnings on the horizon. But if you have the dove as a totem animal, possibly one of the most gentle and giving people on the planet, there's this sense of innocence about you that attracts people to you as well. There are often times that people with the dove totem have difficulty with others because others tend to take advantage of their pacifying kind of ways. And others will also try to take advantage of the calm and the serenity that is actually natural and authentic to your beingness. So people with the spirit totem animal, they're also natural at nurturing, and they make excellent parents as well. But the dove itself brings wisdom, knowledge, understanding, creativity to anything that they're creating. They also teach us how to live a long, loving, faithful, passionate kind of life. So they're living proof that a life of contentment and happiness is actually possible. And we also have endless possibilities, right? But in a dream, the dove can symbolize peace, tranquility, harmony, affection, innocence. And the white dove in particular actually represents the loyalty, love, simplicity, gentleness, and friendships. So your vision, if you have dreams and visions of doves, I didn't have a dove in my vision. I just was called to the dove this morning. So it wasn't a dream vision, but it wasn't a physical vision. But in a vision, it's like the blessing from the Holy Spirit. So most likely you might have released your thoughts of hate or revenge and found a place of authentic peace or love in your heart, in your corridor. If you dream of a pair of doves mating and building a nest, it symbolizes a happy home, a life filled with love, tranquility, pleasure, and also, more importantly, these days, security. If your vision involved a green bird, it's a reminder that we are all on a mission of peace and being at peace with ourselves. That's kind of a step towards our own inner healing. If it's yellow, it symbolizes a new friendship that's actually soon to take root, be grounded. And occasionally, even like the owl, a dove dream can be kind of a prophetic kind of dream of things to come. So we often need to pay attention to all the other elements that are in the vision as well, so that we can combine it with the bird's dream symbolism. But the message of the dove is really to slow down, pause, and absolutely take that breath, which is awesome sauce, right? Ding, ding. Okay. And then I have the card of the day, which I went with my Shadowscape deck. Almost forgot. I'm going with the Shadowscape deck because today felt really like the spiritual connected high frequency kind of day. And this tarot deck always feels like the spiritual connection deck to me, besides my Angel Love Tarot deck. But that's really why I bought this a few years ago. It was almost like it fell off the shelf into my hand. I was drawn to the design of it. It just felt more ethereal, I guess, etheric, yeah. But the Knight of Pentacles, you know, it has all this thick foliage around it growing everywhere. There's this teeny little path for him. He feels like he's riding a serpent dragon in a way. But there's also this fine sensation that he's tempted kind of by anything and everything around him. You know, we have all these forest spirits approaching, you know, whispering out and it's seducing him with these little tiny sparkling little mascots and messages. But just know the gods of the forest, they kind of spread their slender fingers, their fine, slender fingers. They're long, right? They do it widely enough to guide him through the forest so he can get to the other side safely. But he doesn't notice what's going on because his gaze is now lit up by his own goal, the goal ahead. So this knight always works according to different standards and thoroughness, being more consistent. And, you know, his little dragon, it looks like a serpent dragon to me, but the dragon is steadily and slow. Also looks like there's this shamanic drum kind of hanging down there as I'm looking at it closer. But interestingly enough, you know, this is about achieving the goals that we've set before ourselves, to take action without planning things in advance, to spend time and patience with doing what our heart truly wants, just to keep up and work in kind of a methodical manner, never venturing into like a certain unknown place. But it also shows that he might lack creativity or even a desire to explore, to go off the path, because he's judging everything by the result of the journey rather than the way to the goal that he's trying to achieve. So he has this higher sense of responsibility. He's kind of loyal and always, you know, keeps his word, honors his word. I know that feeling. But also just trying to do your best till you get to the end goal, the end story. So our Knight of Pentacles is kind of stubborn in his own way, and it's attaching your beingness to the goal, anything that we set in front of us. It kind of sounds bad, but this can actually bring those unexpected effects or results. So our king actually, he always knows what he's wanted. He's stayed on the target. He doesn't have any hesitation. So while approaching the target, he's going to conquer with all of his energy anything that he can bring into him. He can bring in the power of a giant, the thunder, or the earthquake, or maybe even pressure of the roots of a tree, you know, going into a rock even. So the key words, this different words that resonate with the Knight of Pentacles is like reality, it's earth, it's new experiences, business, dependence, perseverance, ritual, wise awareness, trustworthiness, calmness, kindness, seriousness, even loyalty, pleasure, and a time for healing all wounds. So this is kind of truly like hard work. It's earth-based. So this card It's about spending our time working hard, slowly and carefully, not in a hurry, absolutely like going at a great pace. Just knowing that through hard work, this creates the quality, not the quantity. That's a huge difference, right? And it's also a statement that all good things take time to create, form, and develop. So if you hurry, you really won't get anything worthwhile. You know, you'll get the job done, but it's not going to be great. So if you want to get things built on a solid foundation, a footing, this card is kind of telling us to work with caution, advocating more endurance and hard work. So if you're thinking of quitting a project, skipping a job, you know, just don't rush. That's kind of the advice of the card. And if you hold on and persevere in your dreams, you will be rewarded. So my dream was pretty intense. That'll be an interesting reward. But it's also about spending too much time thinking and making choices, which can actually make an opportunity kind of float away, if you will. And in love, if you're trying to start a new relationship, this card recommends that you should think carefully. Don't go into the downfall again. And if you're in a relationship, it's kind of advice that love is not always sweet, romantic, or happy all of the time. So if you want to maintain that lasting relationship, you and your partner need to share. And also, it's the baby steps. A lot of people forget the baby steps in a relationship, like the baby beginning steps of what ultimately brought you together in the first place. Sometimes we get too focused on our work or whatever we're doing, and then we neglect our relationship. So you really want to try to balance life and relationship, whatever that looks like. This card for work, it reminds us of our future plans. So even if your work is stable, you know, don't be too subjective. It's like every small mistake can actually ruin a career in a weird way, those baby steps again. So you need to be careful about your business partners, Libra, cooperation relationships, again, Libra. So it does have that Librian influence as well. It's not really an ideal time to expand a business or invest in a new project, especially with Mercury retrograde. So this card kind of really does flow with the day. But, you know, you just kind of want to stabilize, be in congruency with what you're creating right now. But it's also a warning that maybe our frankness, you know, our authentic voice sometimes can affect our relationships in an opposing or an adversary is the word I was thinking of, an adversarial kind of way. So there's also good financial signs are always included as well. But despite abundance of finance, you know, it's not enough to realize our ambition, our goals. You should have some, in this case, some unexpected events, some, you know, borrowing problems should be clear if you want to get the money back quickly. But in terms of health, that's more like bad habits or stagnation in exercise could cause our health to actually be affected. Maybe you've been sitting on the couch too much during the experience. I know my world shifted a bit. You might get sick, needed treatment during this time, lots of that happening. So, you know, it's just like, let's change these bad living habits and like maintain or recalibrate our regular exercise routine. And, you know, let's boost our health quotient, our nutrition quotient, you know. So that's kind of a recommendation. With, you know, if you're in that loop, just kind of, I don't like, I mean, I'm not a medical person, but I stay away from drugs, I should say. Yeah, I don't take prescription drugs. So at this stage in this card, you know, just be full of energy and successfully complete any of your journeys, your creations, whatever you're creating. If you're a perfectionist, that just shows that you care what you're doing within anything with this card. But it's also, it's this representation of habits that sometimes we're too familiar with, that create challenges actually. So if you consider it more of a responsibility, it can be said that you are the one creating the trust for others. You're holding the ground. So in short, the card is like this message that more often it's really about money and finance. But appearing today, we're actually more likely to receive good news that we might have been waiting for, the good news. It's not the kind of news that says we're going to actually win the lottery, but this card is about reality. It's Earth. So reminding us to just focus on the matters of the physical world and our ordinary areas of life. So there's this saying, you know, that practice makes perfect. So that's kind of what the Knight is asking us to review and reconsider, or consider different ways that we're utilizing to solve our own inner problems. So just be confident and do, you know, don't give up on whatever it is you're pursuing. Just be more diligent and complete anything that you've started, especially those unfinished projects. And if you're often, you know, feeling a little distracted or feeling like you're behind, just allow the Knight to take you into the world of caution and steadfast. Just, you know, working. It's like the ox. The ox just popped, which is our year. So in all of today, be compassionate to yourself, be mindful to yourself, tune into your heart channel, and navigate those intuitive threadings. Because this is about the earth, this card, the earth realm, the soul, and reality. And we have our spiritual channel open, so it's kind of like moving in between both of those realms and bringing manifest spirit, or having spirit manifest in the heavenly realm. So it works both ways, just by allowing, you know, God universe to be your guiding light, your day. So just really make it magical. We're really in cosmic hands today. Just allow that to flow in. So an affirmation would be like, I am honoring my soul today and the journey I am on, sending blessings actually to all of the things that I have overcome on my path. So thanks for tuning in. I know it was early today, but I have to run. This Mercury retrograde has made my schedule a little bouncy. But InShalla and Ashe, blessings as always.